All right, so we got now the sitting at the feet of the master lesson today with the Paramahansa Naughty Gods. What's good with you, brother?
What's good? What's good? What's good, Novi?
Going
Man,
pretty good. Going pretty good, brother.
yeah, what's good?
So I mean, you can please go in. Like I want, I'm just here to
Oh, as
learn, like always.
oh,
But
as,
what was on
as
my mind?
we was talking about wealth and certain people that celebrities and people that you might even know. You always saying, "Damn, they always getting it. They always getting it." Well, and then they'll sit there, man, because I hustle, I do this. That's the 3D way, but technically it's just how it plays. That's the ego when we say 3D. Yeah, they might appear that they hustle, or sometimes it seems like they just lucky. Like this motherfucker, how the fuck he get that? And you'll see it in the chart, like based on usually good lives or great lives where you'll see somebody really have it, like really like that. They'll have like a sun Atmakarka. Um, and Atmakarka is your highest degree planet. Or you'll have Venus. That's like a princess life. That's the highest degree. And Mercury, Mercury, you'll have that too. You'll have that kind of you'll have that kind of lifestyle that's there. That's not really malefic or anything like that. Mars, you're gonna have a different kind of thing. Saturn, you're gonna have poverty life. So these are the settings that you have when you come in, when you incarnate into your chart. Now, a lot of times you'll see people like with Sun Atmakaka, wherever their sun sits in the 12 houses, that's where they're gonna get that's where they're gonna get their partnership or where it's gonna shine for them. So like somebody that has let's say has a sun Atmakaka and then you have sun in the 11th house. The 11th house is gains. So, or whatever you have in the 11th house is your associates. So when we start talking about the 11th house associates, yes, your network. So your network, if you're a sun Atmakaka and your sun is in this house of gains, you'll deal with celebrities, big followings. It's just like I said, when you understand the whole thing of astrology, it's the gravitational pull. It's not luck. Trust me, it's just your settings. And that pull, like celebrities, if you have a sun, Atmakaka, you're gonna blaze bright. And where you're gonna blaze bright is if it's in your 11th house, it's gonna be gains, associates, all that. You're gonna mess with the top people. That's just what it is. Now, if it's in your 7th house, you would deal with like all your partners, whoever you deal with would be like real top, the top of the top. If your son's Atma Kappa is that, and wherever your son is, this is where you're gonna have a blessed life. You'll see people like, damn, this motherfucker get it. And he always got the right partner. Is his son Atma Kappa. If he has a strong son, if he has the highest degree is the son, that's where he's gonna shine. Now, now what zodiac is in is another thing too, because you can have your son in a partnership of, let's say, Capricorn is in the sign of Capricorn. So when I look at that, that means your partners are going to be government officials because Capricorn is government. That's Saturn, Simon. Simon feed my people. Simon feed my people. Simon feed my people. That's the government, Saturn. So once you see that, that means, like I said, if this Atmakaka is in, if the sun is in the highest degree is in there, that's the dealings. He'll deal with that. That would be like government officials, landowners, kings, shit like that. Just the top. And this is when you'll see like, damn, how this person get, and it's not. It's just that's his soul. That's his part of his. It's only one soul, but that's his egos. That's his egos. If you want to say gift, gift. Okay, cool. If you're looking at it in an egotistical way, or as far as material, or a life like that is fine. Now, when we talk about Atmakarkas, and you say Saturn, which is the opposite, Saturn, which is Satan, that's the opposer, the adversary. That's the one that brings fear. Wherever you see, if you have a Saturn Atmakarka, that's the highest degree of plan. So that means that you'll be have a point of poverty, a point of a lot of abuse, a lot of things, because the Saturn is a hard life. That's why when we said,
Would it be
you
more
know,
physical or mental?
well, the whole thing, the whole matrix is mental. It's not even a physical thing. I mean, it's just that we came into existence. The whole thing is a virtual game that's based on the ego is basically the robot, is the virtual avatar of this game. So it's not physical, it's all of it if you're saying that. Like everything that's supposed to happen to you, you'll see it in Saturn. Like if I see Saturn in somebody's Aries, I know for a fact they hate speed. They fear it. Aries is about speed. You put Saturn over there, nah man, I don't fuck with that. They'll be the ones, slow this motherfucker down. Come on, man. Yo, what are you doing? Because that's just what it is. They the ones, nah, I don't think we should do that. You be like, yo, this motherfucker punking out. Nah, man. You can see it. They just always, and especially if it's like, if you see a kid like that, like, I'm not going. And they be like, man, he a whore, blah, blah, blah. He got Saturn in his fifth house. He don't want to play. He already feared. Because that's the house of fun. House of children, fun. And if he got Saturn in the fifth house, his kids can't stand him as an adult. He was never really a kid. So, like I said, when you see Saturn where it's placed, wherever it might be placed, that's where you're going to have restrictions. Now, in the house of gains, Saturn loves 11th house because that's the natural Aquarius. Now, your house of gains would be old people. Saturn is time. So you'll deal with older people. Like I said, when you put the kids in there, when you put it in the fifth house, that's your fun house. You act like an old kid. Nah, I ain't doing that. This, that, and the third. And then your kids be like, man, this old mama, I don't care what you do, they not gonna like it. That's when it flips. But when you were a kid, you was like, man, I'm not doing nothing. I'm not getting in trouble. But in the 11th house, in the house of gains, it loves it there. And most of your network will be older people. Like you'll hear people say, I don't mess with young folks, man. I don't deal with them. They don't know what they talking about, man, blah, blah, blah. They always with the old folks. That's a person that has Saturn in the 11th house. It'll get gains from it, but it'll be from old people or it'll be in time. But once he get it, he got it. And it's steady. Because Saturn is not a denier, is a delayer. But it's gonna make you struggle. And back to the Atmakarkas, that's where you'll see the ghettos. You'll see somebody with Saturn being abused, all that stuff, because that's like the last ring in the game, in the matrix. So you got to go through the pain. So the crisis brings the Christ oil. So you'll see somebody with that.
I wish I could repeat that and hit a couple horns. You got to say that again, bro. He said, "Christ is what?"
Crisis bring the Christ oil.
Whew.
So that's the whole thing about the crisis. Like when they said Jesus dropped the cross 5 times, he dropped it 5 times to the senses. So your higher self dropped it to the senses. That's why you believe what you see, touch, feel, this, that, and the third. And that's why it dropped down. He dropped the cross 5 times to the senses.
Wow. Right.
And then, like I said, but what picked it up was Saturn, Simon, or Simeon, and he was a black man. He was the bearer of the cross. I'm not saying that all black people got that, because you got black people with sun out Macakas and all that stuff too. I'm just telling you, it's still a sense of pain when you wear that, when you wear the Saturn. And then you have white people with Saturn. That's just what it is, Saturn out Macaca. You'll see them, what it is. Hard life as well. It's just what it's supposed to be. What you came in, that chart is all you. Celebrities come in, boom. Yeah, they supposed to have that like, damn, why that motherfucker keep getting in trouble and never, and he keep coming back and keep coming back because that's just what it is.
Mm. Now you said earlier you said because Saturn hasn't released you yet. So I know we're gonna try to keep doing these
Oh, the time,
each
oh, the
one teach
time.
one, each one teach one lessons moving forward. But if we could allude to like maybe in the future, is there times in your life where planets
Yeah, yeah,
have more
yeah.
control
Each
on you or
each
something like that?
each planet got a control to a certain point. Like when you 16 and you know 16, you're a teenager tell you about 30, Mars have a control, has most of it till 28. That's why you see athletes around 28 start buckling and shit because the Mars starting to deplete. But you know, you can't tell a young, especially a young man, you can't tell, no man, fuck you, they warriors. That's the whole thing, they warriors. So they on that. But then you see athletes and a lot of people going, man, I ain't following this fighting no more. Back in the day, this motherfucker buck fight all day. You feel me? He ready for it. But as you get older, you say, you know, you see you don't heal as well. So Mars stops around 28 to your 30s, you start feeling. I mean, in like the end of your 20s. Saturn really released you around 32, 36.
Okay, so
That's
that's my next question. Do they overlap or do they come at one after another?
no, it's not a one after another. Each of them they have their toll as birth goes. You know, as your birth goes along.
Okay. So my
As your
bad.
birth
Go
goes
ahead.
around, as your birth go along, one to let go, one of this, that, and the third. You feel me? It's not where you under the influence. Like when you're a teenager, you know how you so lovey-dovey Venus time. No, man. Oh man, I just want to be in love. I just want this, and I want that, you know. And then your Mars, you're aggressive. I'm going out here, I'm gonna work for it. I'm gonna do mine, blah blah blah. Now you'll see people like that age and their Mars, and they don't have any aggressive. They want to lay on their ass and shit because their Mars might be debilitating.
Mhm. Right.
So, like I said, but each planet has a hold on you. Like whatever's giving you trouble in Saturn, where Saturn sits in your chart, that's when things will get a little bit better for you. You know, like I said, example, if it's in your fifth house of kids, I'm not saying it's gonna be y'all gonna be back on some Venus stuff or happy times. You're gonna be like you can talk. Y'all gonna understand each other. Hopefully by then, you know, or a little ways down the road, you know, they'll start maturing and they'll start seeing where you came from, where the discipline was, where it was, you know, dissipate. Why you put it out there? Because now, I mean, 3D, you'll start seeing, oh, I see it ain't as easy it is as it is. So that's how that plays out in the 3D. But as far as the game, your kid's gonna feel like you know, you Darth Vader. It's just that simple.
Mm.
And it's nothing you can say or do. Whoever the other person, family member or parent, is the happy person. You ain't shit to them. And you
Right.
ain't
Because
gonna
they
be.
whole they whole programming is based in something that ain't gonna.
Well, it's not their programming, it's your programming. That's what you had. That's your karma. Your
Uh,
karma. All these are the karmas. Wherever those are placed, just like I said, the good stuff that you get, if you consider that good in this matrix, being a millionaire, this, that, and the third, then cool. That's the ego. Yeah, I love this. Yeah, I
so
want
that
this.
mean like their second house got Venus or something in it on
Oh
fire.
yeah, if that second house got Venus in it, either if Venus is not in Virgo, because you know Virgo it falls. You know that's
Mm.
why when you have your Virgo people, they be like, yeah, you mess with Virgo, it's all calculated, no motherfucking romance. Hey, we don't need no lingerie. But if it's like in Taurus, then you're gonna have a happy family, lovely family. They're gonna be this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? If it's in most signs like signs that Venus get along with. Venus don't really get along with fire signs. So Leo, 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 Sagittarius, and Aries is not gonna really bang that well. And it definitely, I would say y'all be special if it's a Scorpio. I'd be like, ooh. But for the most part, because it's ruled by Mars too. But if you have Venus in your second house, you're gonna have nice income, nice family. If Venus is in a happy spot, because people will say, "Well, I got Venus in this house." Yeah, you do, but what's the sign? Is it happy there? Well, it's in this position, it's in this house. Like if you Venus is exalted in the 12th house, yeah, you're gonna get some stuff, some love there. But again, what sign is it in? Is it in Aries? It's gonna be uncomfortable. If it's in its own sign like Taurus, stability, love, everything, Libra, yeah, it's jamming, it's happy, super happy. If it's in Pisces, definitely happy. So, like I said, it's just all the energies. That's the metaphysics of it. That's why, as Enoch ascended, he was introduced to the angels, the angles, and then he learned that it was metaphysics, Metatron. It's that simple. The gravitational pull of each house. Like I told you, if you got Venus in your first house, male, you're gonna look good. You're gonna have a nice little appearance, almost androgynous, almost on some pretty boy shit. And then one, you never had to look for females because females are drawn to you. You are the first house. Now, Lord and behold, if you got Venus as an Atmakaka, woo, boy, you the super ladies, man. And then you can have a person that's not attractive and got Venus in the first house. And you be like, oh, how does ugly motherfucker get these girls? And he broke and dirty. He got Venus in his first house. He gonna get it.
It ain't even up to luck. Like when you take your first breath.
Man, that's it. Yo, you be like, yo, how this motherfucker getting the baddest motherfucker? Yo, this nigga broke. He ugly as shit. He got this, that, and the third. Nigga nose big. Yo, man, the bitches be on him, yo. I don't know what it is. And I was like, he was Venus in his first house. That's it for me. My mind don't even have to put it. Is he panning? Is he eating the girl's asses? I don't care. I'm looking at his Venus in the first house.
Oh man. That makes me think. You said big nose. That made me think about the nakshatras and the faces, and that's like.
Oh yeah, the nakshatras will tell you like when they say the alien race and shit. There's 27 faces of Pumapuko. The 27 faces is the 27 nakshatras. So that I don't care what race you are, what skin color you are. If you have this moon nakshatra, this is your features. These are the features of your faces. The 27 faces, the 27 alien faces. That's our our face structures. So if your moon nakshatra, let's say case in point, a MAGA motherfucker. MAGA, you gonna find he got a wide nose, wide nostrils, like a lion. Always about their fucking hair. Leos, don't touch my hair, or they always wearing a hat to cover that if they got any deficiencies. They stand at the beauty salon, they stand at the fucking barber shops. Man, they keep their headpiece always right, and they always try to keep their stuff on some majestic, nostalgia, big boy, boss, kingly shit. It's just that's just the energy of it. So once you see it, you see it. So like I said, when I'm telling you like Atmakakas and everything like that, like you can have a Saturn Atmakaka, but you got a sun, and you just no matter what you broke, but niggas be like, yo, that nigga always like a leader though. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I'm telling you. That's gonna see your life. When you see your life, it's based on the highest degree planet. That's it. That's when you can sit there and say, well, this ain't fair, this ain't fair, damn, I'm doing this. When you go into your chart, it breaks your ego down because it's now you sit there and see what you asked for when you came in here, what you asked to go through. And when you have a son out Makaka, you have a very big ego and you're gonna get it. But at the end, the whole thing is to burn through that ego. You gotta learn your humbleness. And it's different things. I mean, it's different soul lessons that you came here to do. So when you see somebody that's braggadocious and boom, 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 and get like that, they have a high sun and they supposed to, but That's the ego. Now the lesson for
Mm,
it is the higher, the reason why you came here is
right.
what it is. Yeah, I got a big ego, but eventually it's gonna burn through.
Oh man, move forward by stepping back.
I mean, it's
That's
just what
real.
it is.
Nah, that's
It's just
real.
what you have to do. You know, they just lessons. Everything that you came in, it's not personal. And that's why everybody like the race shit and everything, the black man supposed to be this. It was stated in the Bible. Once you understand the Bible, you get out your ego. In this age of the flood,
Keyword
Noah's
age.
the age of the flood, Kali Yuga. That's why you see the fish. That's Pisces. The sons of Ham. Ham was Africa. Shem, the sons of Shem, would be cursed. That's why we have this. That's why we have all the black on black crimes. Every continent hate us, and we hate each other. So what I'm telling you, all this is the settings of the game. Once you look at it as a game for the soul, the real you, and that's when you wake up.
Mm,
As long as you saying this ain't right, this ain't right, this ain't right. When you do go, your heart not light as a feather because you still got anger.
right.
And then now you need another lesson
Right. 'Cause
because you
anger
still
is just
believe
a
you're the
feeling for the senses, and
still
the
you
senses
still
ain't.
believe you still believing you're the ego
Mm-hmm.
and you're not. That's why you go when people die, man, kill that motherfucker. Make sure his mother died too. Everything.
Hey, not the mama.
Yeah, everybody. And when they die that way, they come back because the ego hasn't dissolved.
Mm,
It hasn't dissolved. It still got to keep getting punished because it's you made a pact. Look, I'm coming in, and this is what it is.
right. You still in the ocean, not the ocean.
Right. So you like, all right, I'm coming in. This is the gift of coming in flesh. All right, you're gonna forget everything, blah, blah, blah. This is what's going down. When you see motherfuckers get killed, they were supposed to die. Look right at the chart. Oh yeah, Saturn rolled over this or aspect this. You supposed to go. Accidents, everything. All this shit is programmed. Once you see it, you see it.
Mm,
And that's what I'm saying. They all scheduled. And I'm telling you, when you go through this, like when I read a girl chart or I read a dude chart, I'm like, oh, did this happen to you? You get molested this? They like, yeah, yeah. You ain't gotta tell me shit. Because they all the stories of the stars. That's what the 27 and the chakras are, the stars. And each one of those Hindu deities, they have any story you think of here is a story for that in this world. Whatever the reality is, uh, let's say incest is there,
mm.
is in that chart. And if your planet touch that, some of that gonna happen to you.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's the 12 cranial nerves.
Yeah, and that's all it is. It's all metaphysics. The stories is coming down from as above, so below, as within. That's the program of your seven planets is your seven chakras. So the program is the chakras inside. That's your reality. That's your story. Your story comes out in your reality. Those the chakras. Well, you got 27 the chakras because you got three charts that goes with life. You have your D1, your birth chart. Then you have your D9, that's your Navamsa chart, and then you have your D10, that's your karma chart, your work chart, what you're supposed to bring to society. So like your D10 chart, that right there, that'll tell you like the jobs you'll get when you get fired, everything. When you hope, you're gonna be unemployed, this, that, and the third. All that shit is in there. The stories is all in there because you got in your chart, your 10th house, your D10 is your 10th house broken down. What kind of job you gonna do? What kind of like you might be a Venus person, but in work, you're a Capricorn. So you're the leader there.
Mm,
So you might be administrative at work, but you might be laid back at home.
right.
You feel what I'm saying? So that's how that shit works. Now you can be motherfucking a tyrant at home. Capricorn motherfuckers, that structure in this house, we must have this. Blah, 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 blah. this, that, and the third. I want this to be this way, this, that, and the third, OCD, whatever. You might have that kind of sign that brings that in there. And then you go to work, you a straight bitch. You on some old cancer shit. I just want to make sure everybody ain't hear this. But at home, you motherfucker tell her to hunt.
Right.
And that's how that shit works. It's all mathematics.
Yeah, it really is. Geometry, man.
Yeah, it's all there. Once you see it, the breakdown of the time, like so if somebody born the same day as you, it's basically the same. You're gonna go through some of the same things, but in different houses. Like, case in point, let's say you born at 6 in the morning and you're a Sagittarius ascendant. Your fifth house, you got some bullshit. You got Saturn in your fifth house, so you and your kids, y'all not right. So say 2 hours later, you got 2 hours earlier, you got Saturn in your fourth house. Instead of that, the Saturn is in there, it is in your fourth house. Now you and your mother don't get along because the fourth house is your mother. Yo, my mother always strict on me, man. She always telling me I ain't right. She always doing that. It's just a different hour. But that's the pain that he's supposed to go through, his mother. But then it aspects 10th house, but he's a hard worker. And that's just how it goes. But in the fifth house, you a kid that don't play, you don't fuck around as a kid. And then your kid, as you get older, your kids don't fuck with you.
I'm trying to get this chart up, but yeah, here we go.
And that's according to the hours. Now you still gonna have that same energies. It's just your problems and your gifts and your stuff is just gonna be different. It's gonna turn out different. Like whatever your pain is, your pain is. Wherever Saturn sits. Like I said, 2 hours earlier, if it was in the fifth house, 2 hours earlier, it'd be in the fourth house. Another 2 hours earlier, it'd be in the third house. So Saturn in the third house, you and your siblings, man, I can't stand my sister. Man, that motherfucker crazy. And then you don't really talk much because third house is your voice. You really don't have too much. You feel like, man, if I go out here, people gonna be like thinking of this and that, this, that, and the third, and I don't want to say nothing. They people that speak when they really have to speak. Other than that, they don't say shit. Because Saturn moved there. We born on the same day, but not the same hour.
I got you. I was
So
trying to find an animation of the signs rising up hourly.
Yeah, is every 2 hours.
Right. It's a watch in the sky.
Right. And that's all it is. Once you see it, you'll see where that it's gonna still that house change, but the planet never leaves the sign. The house just changes for each ascendant. Because my first house would be Sagittarius. Your first house is Virgo.
Right, exactly. So although I was born the 29th of January, it's way more specific as to how, it hones you in pretty much.
Yeah, it tell you it's basically your soul's contract, like
Funnel.
I said before.
I think about a funnel, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Key
like,
lock.
all right,
Combination lock. There you go.
Because the sun, you guys that's born on that day, the sun gonna still give y'all the same kind of whatever results the sun's supposed to give you is just that simple. That's why when Jesus said in the Last Supper, I go forth to set the table.
Yeah.
Wherever the sun sits, it's gonna give you that story. Wherever that nakshatra it is, it's gonna give you that story. So, like I said, you'll see people that's born that same day. Damn, yo, yeah, man, that same shit happened to me. Or they might even have the same name sometimes. Right. Or close to it. Oh, man, mine's this. And you'll meet a motherfucker that's born the same day as you, or around the same day as you, a different year, and had the same name.
Right.
But see, like I said, that's the ego trick because you thinking you're unique and you're not. Because once you get by somebody that's born the same day as you, And
What do
certain
you
things.
mean, man? I'm special. I'm the black man. God is a woman.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, once you
You know,
see it,
my people served. What do you mean, man?
I just say like this: if you can actually like, if you study the chakra stories of the deities of the 27 Hindu
Uh-huh.
gods or the
Definitely not.
stories, constellations, you'll see how it applies in your life. You're like, damn, that happened to me. What? Yeah. And then you'll look at your chart, and that's how you know thyself. When
Mm,
you know thyself is by, like I said, mine's is by division. If all this is happening because of placements, then that's telling me that none of this is original. It's none of this life is original. It's just a story. Once you wake up from the stories, and I mean, it's 27 stories clicking
right.
in your life. I'm saying because it's nine stories on one chart, nine stories on one chart, and nine stories on another. So I'm saying that's your 27 stories all going at once. Everything, the compartment of your kids, your word, this, that. And this is the whole life cycle that you're seeing. Now, a lot of things gonna happen. Like when you go from different relationships, you'll start seeing, damn, this shit kind of happened the same way. Like her mother-in-law wasn't shit to me before, or his mother-in-law wasn't shit to me before. And damn, this bitch motherfucking mother-in-law ain't shit. And then this one ain't this. And
Right.
you'll start seeing the cycles.
Right. And they
You'll
all come
start,
on the same day.
but that comes with time and the maturity of Saturn. Because as Mars, when you get out of Mars, you know, you a soldier, you ready to fight. Until you mature, you be like, hmm. Now, hopefully your Saturn not debilitated because when your Saturn is debilitated, is in Aries, it don't like that. It can't stand it. So it has no patience. It has no patience. So it brings a sense, it brings a little bit of immaturity too. Because that's a planet that's of mature. And if it's debilitated, is knocking some of your maturity out. And it causes anxiety too in 3D. So you can see people that have anxiety, they have that planet. Like that Saturn is uncomfortable.
Oh, I got you. They ain't got no wiggle room. So Saturn would be uncomfortable in what kind of house?
Sun's house, which is fifth house,
Fifth.
and then the sign it debilitates in is
So
Aries. Is
okay.
Aries.
So fifth house would be they could be like shy or
Fifth house is like what I just said. Like your childhood, you really, if it's fifth house, your childhood, you're gonna be like that child. Like I ain't doing
okay.
like I'm not doing it like everybody else, man. You ain't gonna get in trouble, yo. Yeah. I don't know,
I was
man.
about to ask the next thing if it was in Aries, would they be like timid? You know what I mean?
Nah, Aries, you'll see a motherfucker that's like anxiety. They just be
Gotcha.
like, oh, motherfucker, what? That
Uh,
it kills their patience. They don't
okay.
have no patience because and you'll see a lot of immaturity and impulsiveness. You'll see that. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's in, like I said, if it's in Aries, like if it's in the first house too. First house, you'll see shyness. If it's in the third house, you're gonna see shyness as far as them speaking. Second house, you're gonna see a strict family. They're gonna be like, you know, and I don't fuck around with my family. Everything has got to be in order. Man, what are you doing? Put that back, because that's Saturn in that house. Everything is motherfucking in order. Like you go in that motherfucker, you see a library and motherfucker, your ignorant ass come in that motherfucking start picking up shit. They be like, whoa.
Oh, whoa.
And that's Saturn in the second house. I mean, because that house is discipline and that's the structure. That's the second house. That's your like I said, that's basically home. And you'll see that in your finances too. If it's in a bad dignity or something, you'll see how people, you know, fucking money go, or they don't get money, they go broke. Because Saturn does that, especially for the first 36. First 36 um years.
I got you.
And then you got it if you got Saturn, like say if it's in your ninth house, then everything is gonna be like orthodox to you as far as religion. Your father even gonna be like that. Your father will be an older motherfucker. Like, what your ass fucking my young mother for?
And vice versa, you might be the crib yourself, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying. Nah, I'm just saying. Like, these are the ways it plays out. Like, in the ninth house is religion and father.
Mm.
So, like I said, the ninth house, if you have like Saturn in there, you'll have a either older father, he'll be older, maybe disciplined, but as far as the father, he'll be older, disciplined, and then like the religion that you're in, it'll be more, you'll be into a more orthodox religion kind of thing. It wouldn't be so, it would be everything would be structured. This has to be this way, this has to be this way. Because you gotta understand, it's a form of Capricorn, government, discipline, structure. So that's how that works. I mean, you'll see it that way. Now, you'll see if it's like if it's in Libra, you'll see somebody that's like a great salesman.
Mm.
They'll do great things. Like, man, I got it, and he serves the people. Trustworthy, all that. You'll see it like in that place. That's how your father will be.
I got you. Would that change if it's a man or a woman, or
I
does?
mean, well, as far as the father, because it isn't a ninth house, that's the father.
Okay, copy, copy. All right, I get it. I got you. I got
I mean, it don't matter what sex you are. It's your chart.
you. Is there anything in the chart or learning about the charts that would change based off of they are a man or a woman?
What?
So, say, is there like certain placements in the chart? If they're a man, you would read it this way. If they're a woman, you would read it this way.
Oh yeah, like, well, as far as a female chart, not unless if I see it's homosexuality in it or a male's chart. Basically, when you're looking in a male's chart, you would look for Venus in the birth chart, and then in a female's chart, you would look for Jupiter. That's
Mm.
the man she would like, or you could look at Mars because that's the teenage or the young rebel she might like. But as she matures, Jupiter is the husband. But Mars is that rah rah home, that motherfucker. I just don't know where to bump that bad boy I like. But for the most part, the husband is Jupiter.
Mm.
And then in the D9 chart, you would see Venus. Venus is both whoever you love in the D9 chart, because that's the chart of marriage and love,
Oh, okay.
second half of life. So Venus is like in my wife's chart, she would see Venus. She would look for me wherever Venus is.
Ah, okay. So
And that's in
going
the
back full
D9.
circle.
That's the
Okay.
D9 chart.
Okay. But I mean, going back full circle to the abundance in your life, that doesn't just come through wealth and stuff. That can come in partnerships. So it's
Oh yeah, yeah.
interesting that you tied that back.
Once you look at your person, whoever you're supposed to be with, their chart and yours it's called synastry, and it all clicks because in a D9 you'll see where you're gonna meet the person who you're supposed to be with. Like you'll see certain places like my chart Venus in the 12th house. 12th house represents foreign lands, foreigners, jails, asylums, hospitals. So, like I said, I met my wife at work in the jail, in the hospital. Now, the energy behind it, when you say 12th house, as far as the body is feet. So, and then the sign is Aries. So how we met was I gave her a lunch break and I let her people out. And one of her people wouldn't go back in when it was time for him to go back in, but he had swollen feet. And Aries, the god of war, I threatened to stomp his feet if he didn't go back in. She started laughing,
That's funny.
and and
You in the
he did
jail,
his
dude in there with swole feet, and you say you gonna stomp on his feet, bro?
and that's how that clicked. So that's just the energy that went. It happened in the 12th house, the hospital, jails, asylums, all that. That's where Venus went. That's where I met her. And like I said, war, Aries, when his feet was already cracked, I said, I will stomp on him. And I used to wear Army jump boots from when I was in the service. I said, I will stomp on your motherfucking feet if you don't go back in there. And like I said, you'll see wherever Venus is. Like I told my homeboy, he has Venus in 11th house, and the Venus in his D9 chart, and is in Libra. So Libra is kidneys in the body, and then it's also scales courthouse. So I said, did you meet your wife or something in the courthouse or something to do with kidneys? He was like, yeah. He said, I met her while I was filing my papers. I was at the courthouse filing some papers for work, and she was doing something about her mother, passing away because of kidney failure, misdiagnosed. I was like, yeah. He's like, what the fuck? It was that simple. But see,
Whoa.
the ego make it a trick. And everybody, like, that's why when people like, I want to read and this, that, and the third, and I'm like, once I read it, and I'm telling you, yo, this happened, then they be like, yeah, because then look, this is how this went down, and all that. I already know what happened. I don't need to know the fillers. I'm telling you, yeah, you got hurt at this time you was in a car accident. Yeah, see this, case in point. I told the guy, I said, yo, you hate speed. He said, yeah. I said, man, you hate speed. You fear. He said, yes. What happened was I was driving and then my back, I hit something and I used to love speed. Then I hit something. Now I won't even get in the car. He had Saturn and Ashwini. Ashwini, that's the nakshatra of speed. Saturn is fear. And the council of angels, I will make man worthy of your love. I will bring what Haiti said in the class type, I will bring fear to them.
I caught that. You say council of angels, not angels. Huh, man?
Yeah. And that's all it is. I will bring fear in your life. And wherever house it sits in and whatever aspects, that's gonna be your struggles in your life. Like I said, wherever those compartments, those 12 houses, first house is you. You're gonna have problems. Always gonna be stressful if it's over top on your first house. You're always gonna have to be upstanding, always everybody stressing you. You there have service. That's your job, that's your pain. And that's it. Like I said, house, second house family, third house siblings, fourth house mother, five, your childhood and your kids, sixth house enemies or work. You gonna work or you gonna sixth house, it does well. Because you fuck up the enemies. Enemies can't, they'll be fucking with you, but you strong enough to stop. Seventh house, don't get married before 32 because it's gonna be a divorce. That's simple. And you're gonna deal with some older people. Eighth house, it does well there. Long life, everything. The house of fear, it kind of take the fear away from you. That's the eighth house. Um, Ninth house, like I said, father, religion. That's how you're gonna have orthodox views of it. 10th house, hard work. You'll stay till motherfucking cows come home. You're gonna work hard. You don't mind it. You love to work. That's his natural house, the 10th house. 10th zodiac sign. Saturn, Capricorn. 11th house, love it too. Love it there. That's Aquarius. Owns that house as well. 12th house, Pisces. Yeah. It keep your subconscious. It might put your subconscious in fear. It matters what sign it is. Or like if it's Scorpio, you just always deep. You always deep in this and into your subconscious. But that's how I go.
Yeah, the one on the left is going through the houses.
Yeah, your houses. That's the 12 cranial nerves, the 12 your 12 energies that they the 12 compartments of
12,
life.
12 archetypal storytelling motives, like things that attach to
Yeah,
different parts. The only reason why you like certain stories is because of how they attach to these nerves.
exactly. Like I told one dude, he had Ucha Padada. No, not Ucha Padada, Ucha Falguni.
Hermit, the hero, the Jesus figure, the villain, like all those archetypes.
Yeah. Like he had Ucha Falguni. And
Ooh.
I told him, I said, man, you love James Bond and The Godfather. He said, man, I just made a song with that samples. And I'm like, yeah, because there's certain things that you're gonna be drawn to. And it's all an ego trick. It's not you. It's
Wow.
not you. It's really just what your programs, what you're gonna be drawn to. Like when people say you shouldn't eat meat, you shouldn't eat that. If you're a fire sign, Sagittarius, Leo, or you got a lot of planets in it, Aries, you're gonna eat fucking meat. You have to. If you're another sign that doesn't, that has vegetarians, it's just that's your makeup. Like a person with Jupiter in first house or Sagittarius or Pisces, they always snagging, always eating sweets because they need it for their soul. It's not about the body, it's about the soul
Mm.
to elevate. Certain souls doesn't need this that much density, but you need the density because that's why you came here. Is the Anunnaki said the mind for gold. The
Right.
mind for gold is to get through the density to bring that Kundalini energy up.
The alchemical process of being
Exactly,
thought
and
and
it's not
becoming
gonna.
light.
Yeah, everybody, I'm fasting, I'm doing this. True. It's a point of that, it's a point of all that. But the whole thing is to work through the density, the
Hmm.
flesh, work through it.
Yeah, it's a filter. Density
So
sorted
you,
out.
so you can be reborn. That's reborn being through the Kundalini. And that's just it. So, like I said, man, I see what time it is. You
Yeah,
say
we about to get back on that plantation so I can find my wife, right?
say less, man. Look at that chart. Look at that
It's all
chart.
good.
Study
Um,
that D9. Study your D9. You'll see what it is, where you're gonna meet it, all that good stuff. You know?
yes. Just real quick shout out. Where your Twitter is, bro. Just let them know how they can get a
Oh my
read.
my Twitter is Stacy Baker Paramahansa SB. And you know what we do. We the Naughty Gods. We on YouTube, Naughty Gods with a Z. And then on IG, we Naughty Gods Fuck Your Beliefs.
Mm-hmm. You can email
That's
us
what
at the
we
Real Naughty Gods with an S because the Z was not available, but we are we are if you need an email, the Real Naughty Gods at gmail.com. Um, and
Yeah.
outside of that, brother, it's
Oh
always a
yeah,
pleasure. We're gonna
yo,
try to
you
get
gotta
back
post
on.
you gotta post the thing on far as the astrology orgy. I mean that
Oh
orgy
yeah.
gang bang.
Yeah, I'll make that the
Gang bang.
thumbnail for you.
Yeah, the gang bang.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
make that the thumbnail. I don't think they're ready, bro.
4 astrologers at once reading. That's what we did. All right.
Definitely. All right, brother. Appreciate y'all.
All right.
And yeah, catch us on the next one.
All right, one.
Peace.